What's up, peeps? Want to do this video this evening to answer a very commonly asked question, and that is why Spyderco? Why buy Spyderco? I want to go over why I buy Spyderco, why I probably own more Spyderco products than any other brand of knife that I purchased. First of all, I want to start out with I never set out to become a Spyderco fanboy, so they like to be called. However, here I am. It has happened. It's happened to even to a point that you can see my channel logo there has a very familiar theme to it. And I wanted to go over why that is. Guys, there are lots of knives out there that we can purchase for a lot less money. There are knives out there that we can purchase for a lot more money. But I want to go over why I choose Spyderco and why it's so important to me and what about it is important to me. Everybody in the knife community has a different passion. They all have that thing that drives them, that thing that causes them to spend money that they probably shouldn't on another knife that they absolutely do not need. And mine just so happens to be performance. I look at knives at the most generic basic level of what they are, and that is a cutting tool. um, it being a cutting tool, that tells me the most important aspect of a knife is, does it cut? How easy does it cut? Um, and how long does it cut? And what I mean by that is, guys, is in case you're new to this, I know most of you aren't, but a lot of it starts with the geometry on the majority of Spyderco knives. Now, guys, they make some thick, not very slicey knives. Not very many of them, but they do make some. But for the most part, Spyderco offers a very good cutting geometry with their high full flat grinds. They do offer some hollow grinds, but for the most part, um, they have a very good cutting geometry with a fairly thin blade stock. And what that means to the user is it requires less force to push that edge through whatever media it is that you happen to be cutting. Um, that is what is important to me, and that is why I choose Spyderco. Um, Guys, I know for a fact that we can relate knife purchases to a lot of other purchases in our life. I could go car shopping tomorrow, and I could buy a brand new Lexus luxury sports sedan for around and or spend about the same money on a Cadillac sports sedan. The difference is, um, and in the Lexus, I'm probably going to get 400,000 miles out of that car, whereas the Cadillac, I'm going to be lucky to get over 100 to 150. And that is where this part comes in, edge retention. If I'm going to pay good money, even top dollar for a knife, especially in a super steel, as we like to call them, I want it to perform as well as it possibly can. Now, is Spyderco the only company that offers that? No, they're not. There are other companies out there that offer that. You've got your American Blade Works, that has superior edge retention on their Magna Cut. You have ProTech has now stepped up their game with their Magna Cut, getting excellent edge retention at higher HRCs. And that is what's important to me, guys. I know I can buy knives cheaper than these Spydercos. I also know that I can buy Scott single ply toilet paper and get poop on my finger when I wipe my butt, but I choose not to. I buy Cottonelle because it does the job better. It does it more efficiently, even though I had to pay a little bit more money for it. Guys, a little bit more money is worth not having poop on my finger. Um, that's why I choose to buy Spyderco when most of the time when I'm purchasing pocket knives. There are other things that go into our knife buying decisions, such as design. I happen to love the design of this ProTech. This is the TR4 automatic. I think it's very menacing looking. It's a cool ass knife. I've had some custom laser work done to it. However, it's in CPM D2, and I'm willing to forgive that. I'm willing to get over the fact that the steel doesn't perform just because I purely bought the knife because of the design. much the same way with this Hinder. As much as I dislike Rick Hinder and the way he, in my opinion, the way he treats the community, I love the design of this knife. I bought it knowing that it is not a performer. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a two-wheel drive Jeep Wrangler. This is a Corvette with a naturally aspirated four-cylinder engine. This is Cottonelle toilet paper packaging with single ply Scott toilet paper performance. I understood that when I got it, but primarily when I'm going to purchase a cutting tool, I'm going to go with Spyderco for those very reasons. Is their warranty great? I've heard, to be honest, I've heard pretty bad things. I've heard guys being pissed off that they don't stand behind their products as well as they should. I get it. However, I've never needed warranty work on my Spyderco, so I just look over it. I get over the fact that the warranty's not great. Are their aesthetics as good as some other knife companies out there? Well, no, probably not. But the performance is better. Keep in mind, guys, this is over 2 times the price of any of these. Double the price, cuts less than half the time of any of the. Well, it might come close to this one, but yeah, won't not even in the same ballpark with these two in K390 and S90V. This thing won't cut half as much material as these will before it's dull, and the geometry is going to require probably twice as much force to push this blade through whatever media I'm cutting as it will these. So my point is, guys, it's purely a performance aspect is why I think it's worth it and why I choose to buy a Spyderco the majority of the time. There's another aspect that goes along with this, Spyderco being as popular as it is. As you can see, this is a fixed blade, guys. This is a fairly new model for them. So there's not, that I know of, there's not any aftermarket offerings for this as of yet. However, neither one of these knives are stock. These are aftermarket scales. These are aftermarket scales, aftermarket hardware, aftermarket clip. It's simply because they sell so many of these knives and they're so popular that companies outside of Spyderco are willing to make an investment into products to upgrade your Spyderco because they know there's enough of them out there that they can sell those products. I've run into this same issue with my Pew Pew of choice. It's not a popular choice, and because of that, I can't buy any upgrades or accessories for my pistol. That sucks, but it is what it is. I made that decision. Spyderco is your, they are the Glock of the pocket knife world. Simply because you can upgrade them, you can buy pieces and parts and customize them to your heart's desire, and that again, to me, makes it worth the purchase price. That alone makes it worth the purchase price. The performance alone makes it worth the purchase price. The pride and ownership of knowing that I bought a 100% USA made product makes it worth the purchase price. I don't know any better way to explain it. And if you've watched any of my videos and you've seen a couple of my rants, you've seen me get extremely upset over HRCs and poor heat treats, things like that. And that's why I tell people just buy a Spyderco. Does that mean that Spyderco is the only company doing good heat treats? Absolutely not. Or already mentioned that this American Blade Works MagnaCuts is 63.8. It's excellent. However, the reason I always say I default to just buy a Spyderco is because your chances of getting a good knife with an excellent heat treat are probably 99%. I'm not going to say you can't find a Spyderco out there that's not great. I know their H1 steel and their Salt series was horrible. However, it was never designed to have great edge retention. It was designed not to rust, even in saltwater conditions. That's no longer an issue because once again, they're going to start using MagnaCut in their Salt series, which will hold an edge for an incredibly long time because of their heat treat, and is also nearly purely corrosion proof. So, in my opinion, absolutely yes. Yes, every time on a Spyderco, Yes, it's worth the money to me. There has been some price raises at Spyderco, as there's been price raises everywhere. Everybody's had to go up. However, I've noticed that the price increases at Spyderco seem to be minimal. They seem to be, I know they're much less than the price hikes that Benchmade. Can you buy a knife cheaper than this? Can you buy a good knife cheaper than this? Sure you can. There are some good knives out there that you can buy for a lot less than this price. I don't know of um, any knife that you can buy of this quality with this type of edge retention for this price. Um, but you can buy a Manly and S90V for around $100. It's going to have excellent edge retention as well, excellent geometry. However, it looks like it was put together by a couple of children. The fit and finish is just not great. It's not a good looking knife, and good luck finding any aftermarket upgrade parts or anything like that for it. So there are options, but I mentioned in a live today that I wouldn't buy a 20 CV unless it's from Spyderco. And Mr. Doobie's Daggers questioned that, and he was 100% right in questioning that. He said, I don't know that Spyderco is the only company making good 20 CV. Well, they're not. But the reason why I always just jump straight to Spyderco is because it's the safest bet. A lot of people love the 20 CV on the TRM products. I don't have an issue with the 20 CV on TRM products. However, it it does not perform even close to the 20 CV that you get from Spyderco. Not even close. Yes, it's great cutting geometry that aids in this knife cutting even after it's dull. However, the heat treat is not near as good. The edge retention is not near as good. And that sucks to have to admit that, but it's 100% the truth. It just is. People talk about the cutting geometry on that, and even though the blade steel is thinner than this American Blade Works, the cutting geometry is not better. I know that sounds crazy, but this knife is 6 thousandths of an inch behind the edge. As you see that tiny bevel, that's 15-degree edge. Um, and then you look at this TRM that has a 17-degree edge. If I can get the light to catch it, you'll see how much wider it is. Why is that? Because this is thinner behind the edge. This is also thinner behind the edge. This is a 17-degree edge bevel as well. It's about half the size of that. So, yes, these are good knives. You wouldn't go wrong buying one. However, are you getting the most bang for your buck? Or did you buy a Mustang GT that goes 0 to 60 in 11 seconds? How upset would you be about that? I buy a sports car. I want it to perform like it's supposed to perform. If I buy a knife, I want it to perform like it's supposed to perform. And that's why I choose Spyderco. That's why I think you should choose Spyderco. I don't think you can go wrong. If you can get your hands on something a little harder to find, like an American Blade Works and Magna Cut, which these are about to come much more readily available on the market this month, absolutely go for it. Difference in price. This is $200, and this is about 150, 150 to 160, 170 to 180. However, this is made by one man in his shop, Mr. Michael Martin, and it supports a mom and pop's company. So I'm all about this. I'm all for it. I'll pay the extra for this. However, not everybody can find this. Most of this stuff is easily found every day. You look on the internet, you'll find a Spyderco in a good steel for what I think is a great price. So yeah, that's all I got today. I just wanted to get this out there. Hopefully, maybe this will help you guys understand my passion, and maybe help you understand why I have these rants every now and then, why I feel like they're necessary. But yeah, get yourselves a Spyderco, guys. That's all I got for you guys today. You guys know I appreciate any amount of time y'all spend with me. Peace. Love y'all.